Morning, folks. Coming to you today from a hot, muggy northwest Florida. I figured I'd give you a progress update on the greenhouse build and starting to go into production on a few things. Weather right now has got me slowed down a bit with it being as hot as it's been. I'm not as young as I used to be and energetic, especially when the real fields are hovering in the 110, 115 degrees every day. But anyway, we'll get this thing turned around, walk out here and show you where we're at. You see my sidekick out here. He's trying to figure out what's going on. But got most of the greenhouse structure itself is complete. Shade cloth is on. I'm running 50% shade. You see my water wall. We currently run about 12 hours a day during the heat. Does a fairly good job. I stay between about 85, 90 degree at the top end. On the inside, even though I'm seeing 115 on the outside for real fields. Put in an outside raised bed because I have intentions at some point of doing some potatoes and carrots out here. And you'll see my entryway with Toby Joe door. Gonna be a little bit loud in here, maybe. What you see here is my evaporative cooling wall. This is basically the heart of my greenhouse. You see outside right now, we're seeing, low 90s. I got a 10 degree differential on the inside of the greenhouse. That entire wall is nothing but evaporative cooling with my water system wetting down cardboard substrate. You see my tank reservoir goes up, pumps water, and then it comes out into the greenhouse itself to cool down. You see exhaust fans on the west wall up high. Basically got two zones. The center fan runs on thermostat. It runs on and off automatically based on the temperature of the greenhouse. The other two, I basically run circulation fans in here on the circuit. The two smaller 18-inch exhaust fans are on the circuit along with my sidewall circulation fans. I have here is my next NFT station. Will mimic what I've already got currently running in the second NFT rail bed, fed from the IBC tank. The IBC tank is where I mix my nutrients, balance my pH, and that is basically my reservoir system, which is pH controlled automatically, and I enter nutrients about once a week. I have a pump system that then takes the nutrients down to all of my tank systems for my individual stations. First set of station we got here is my lettuce rafts. Basically what I have, I'm running these currently in a Kropke setup to where basically I just fill the container with water and allow the roots to sit into it. That I can pull from my reservoir by turning my pump on or off, and then turning my valves on and off on whether I want them to drain or stay static. Second bed is what or set of beds is what I'm working on now to bring up. It will mimic this setup here. Third bed, I'm torn right now of making that just a manual bed because I'm really not sure at this point how many lettuce heads that I want to try to support on this thing. I may use this as a seedling propagation station to allow my root systems to get a little bit longer before I put them over into the NFT rails. Up top don't know if you see it. Strawberries. I have strawberry beds that sit or will sit across the top above the lettuce rafts. I have a watering and drain system coming into those right on the heels of getting this lettuce raft station online and the second NFT system. NFT system that I've got online right now, I basically have a trellis system hung from the rafters down to my first set of cups. My plan is to take my cucumbers and allow them to trellis up front, and then allow the NFT rails in the back to grow the vegetables in behind the wall of cucumbers. Right now you can see I've got a stand of broccoli coming up. Just put these in the NFT rail yesterday. I've got zucchini. I've got strawberries that need to be moved over into the other plant. And then right now I've got a bunch of tomatoes, both heirloom, brandy boy, and Silex greenhouse tomatoes that I've raised from seeds. These things here are probably about 3 weeks old, ready to move over into the Dutch buckets. Dutch bucket system, I'll explain him, is basically a row of buckets. My intent is to trellis all of my tomatoes up out of the bucket system. They're hung over the top. And believe it or not, we already have tomatoes coming off of these that are about right at a month to 5 weeks old. I'll cull some of those tomatoes over, bring them in the end buckets. But basically this waters itself continuously 24/7 and then recycles back into the nutrient tank. The nutrient tank is valved off of the IBC tank, so every time the pump runs or this float gets low, it calls water over here and keeps the level in this tank where it needs to be. Pump runs 24/7. Pump itself then goes out to the end of all of my NFT rails, so that's a continuous flow of water down, and we drop out at the end of the rail into the return system. Return system comes back into the tank. So this thing basically takes care of itself. I just plant and harvest crops. Bucket systems waters itself. I come in and trim the plants when I need to, and then harvest. Get over here and show you the peppers. These are basically 5-gallon buckets that I've got peppers growing in. The only thing I have in here are air stones, and I maintain the water level right now manually because I don't have any means plumbed in over here to keep my buckets full. The row of trays that you see here will become flood and drain systems for my squash and zucchini and other larger type plants once I get them online. But to give you an idea of what we've got in here for peppers, you see this plant is completely full, completely full of peppers ready for harvest. I've got to get out here this afternoon once I get a chance to come out here and harvest them and clean these plants up. I've just been so busy trying to get the other rail systems online that it's taken most all of my time. Next station is my microgreen racks. I brought those out. I'm ready to wire them into my PLC and get this bad boy back online. Basically what we have is a watering system. 2 valves, 2 stations. You see 2 sets of tray. Each tray gets watered independent of each other, each stack of trays, and then they return to the tank system. It's worked well on the inside of the house. I just need to get it set up and programmed to run out in this environment. My last station that you see over here is my propagation station. What I've got going here right now is a bunch of seeds that I put in 3 days ago. You can already see the squash is starting to sprout, charred basil, some lettuces. Once these sprout to the point that they're ready to move over into the seedling tray, then what they wind up doing is coming over here, get dropped into these stations. They're already charged with water, and then I grow them at this point to where the root systems get deep enough to move over into the net pots. So that's my propagation station. Basically everything that's left is storage, my work shelf, which is kind of grungy right now. And then in this area here, I've still got to build another rack system like what I've got built here. I'll have 2 bays here that I'll be able to create dark stations for my microgreens, so I can put them into a dark environment before they get ready to go into the light across the system. So depending on what my production capacity is, I've got the capacity right there to do 80 trays a week. Not sure how much of that I'll fill up with microgreens, but I'm sure I can put some more flood and drain systems over here in the second bay if I needed to carry over for other products. But that's where we're at with the construction right now. You can see, like I say, we're 90, 95 degrees outside. Heat index triple digits on the inside of the greenhouse. Yeah, so plants are loving it. It's a lot better environment than what I've had and been used to. It's been a long haul to get here, but I think I've about got the environment figured out. Now it's time to put up or shut up with the plants. And you can see right now the plants are having no issue with the environment. So until next time, Lord willing, Marine out.